Yes! 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 No! 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 Fuck! Shit!
If we're going off pure bang for your buck, then I'm convinced Travis Scott features are a money laundering scheme. That's because the quality of a feature can easily make or break a song. A good feature is iconic, it adds something a song wouldn't feel the same without. However, a bad one can take you out of it, like Kodak talking literal shit in Drowning, or you get ones that totally miss the point, like Big Sean boasting his smoking hot babe on the Mighty Fall. Though that one might be on Fall Out Boy for thinking the Vagician would fit the theme of a toxic, degrading relationship.
I'm either fucking or working, so the grind don't stop.
So here are some features that missed the mark one way or another. Jay-Z and Beyonce are probably the biggest power couple in music. I mean, it's gotta be a strong relationship. You don't just put your mouth on Nikocato's trench every day for the bit. While the two have featured each other from time to time and made an album, I think Hov's true soulmate is Kanye. Together they've made the underrated Watch the Throne, and every song he's on is a damn near perfect addition. But he lost the plot on the track Monster. Along with Jay-Z and Kanye, the song features a verse from Nicki and Rick Ross. The point Monster's making is that musicians are messed up people. Here they brag about their fame, fortune, and power through their own experience. Kanye says it best.
Everybody know I'm a motherfucking monster.
He's not hiding that he acts like a monster. But before he was actually a monster, the bar was low as heckling Taylor Swift, which is hard to believe was ever controversy.
Women.
Jay-Z takes a different approach. Flaunting his $500,000 wisdom, he starts his verse like this.
Sasquatch, Godzilla, King Kong, Loch Ness, Goblin, Ghoul, a zombie with no conscience.
That's right, those are monsters. This one line right here is what turns most people off. Personally, that shit is funny. I can't help but break my cold stare when I hear zombie with no conscience. He had to be the first person to say that. Jay tried something clever, but it just sounds really goofy in this context.
Question, what do these things all have in common?
Please don't ask me any retarded questions.
Fuck you, Kanye.
The literal comparison thing can work. Relevant example, all of the lights. Yeah, I can see Kanye being under those lights. But I don't know how Sasquatch fits into this song unless Hov has been eating babies behind closed doors. For an opener so bad it's good, the rest of the verse is just somewhere in between. He makes the rookie mistake of revealing his weakness, love. No wait.
Love.
And you get the line that for sure didn't help him with that court case.
Rape and pillage of village women and children.
And before we move on, I want to address the Rick Ross in the room. This dude just shows up for 10 seconds, calls himself fat, and leaves. I gotta say, it's still better than Hov's verse, though.
Kanye West samples, here's one for example. Whoopie-dee scoop. Scoop-dee-dee whoop.
Truth is, no one had a chance against Nicki, with even the man himself calling it her greatest verse of all time. Instead of using the monster theme for Scooby-Doo bullshit, she uses it to act out a confrontation between her inner monster. It feels like I'm listening to a play, and it's actually pretty hype. What Jay needs to do is lean into the meme. The people have wanted it for years. Give us the official All Monsters verse.
John Snake, Cerberus, the monster from Cloverfield, Major Balrog.
Look, the horse has been buried, and I'm not gonna dig it up to prolong the beatdown. J. Cole was in the beef. He made a diss track that everyone hated and subsequently took himself out of the beef by deleting it, citing it was the lamest shit he's ever done. 1 month later, he released the lamest shit he's ever done. The track Grippy is a remix of Cash Cobain's Dunk Contest with an added verse by Cole, and it speaks for itself.
She said she was gay until I slayed, now she's strictly diggly.
He was hanging around Drake a lot, and it shows. Grippy is not just bad, it goes against the rules of nature. J. Cole should never enter the bedroom. Seriously though, he's got some safe picks, but unless you get off to black suffrage and struggle meals, Cole's sexual writing brings a new meaning to the term ear rape.
Dick so big it's like a foot is in your mouth.
Well, that might be one line. Grippy turns it up to 100. filling the entire verse with just awful sex lines and quips.
She gon' chew on this stick like it's Wrigley's. Yeah. Believe it or not, like Ripley's.
Clean up on aisle, my pants. There's a subset of rappers who can write bar-to-bar punchlines, and he's clearly trying to emulate that, but he is not him. He doesn't have the charm, wit, or humor, at least not intentionally. And hey, a corny line isn't gonna ruin a song, but at least say it with your chest. Cole is so cold and monotone. Everything sounds like he was in the studio pointing his fingers together.
It's Grippy.
Stuttering and spouting puns makes Grippy feel like a huge joke, but trust me, it's real. He's a humble guy, right? Famously humble. Does a shoe collab with Puma? They're $40. Next, it's gonna be Fruit of the Loom. In fact, he's so humble he doesn't even charge for features. That's right, Grippy is for pure love of the game. But wait, here he's talking about taking a girl's kids to Disney World. What the fuck? That's not humble at all. Real Cole would have taken them to Nickel World. With that, J. Cole fans became the most punished fan base in history. A dude who actually had a good record with features suddenly dropping abysmal dog shit right after throwing himself into a pit of meat-hungry Kendrick fans for no reason. Dropping a forgettable mixtape with 7 years of teasing an album with no release in sight. If there was ever a right time for Grippy, it was not when it dropped. Soulja Boy is a man of many firsts. Let's see, the first rapper to make it big online, shoot a 3 into a whale's mouth, own the first $1 million bill, and have a game console, lawsuit. But more importantly, he's the first rapper to become a living meme. He has an act and he's stuck to it for nearly 2 decades. His feature in Lil Wayne's Trigger Finger perfectly sums up his character. Now this song is cold as hell. The beat samples Assassin's Creed 2 and Wayne kills it. Super punchy flow of just non-stop one-liners.
Tools on deck, tattoos on necks. Life is a bitch, I make her your ex. I pass that weed like I studied.
His lyrics are funnier than most modern stand-ups. Wait, no, they can't all be zingers, but it makes for great pacing. That is until Soulja Boy's verse.
Cause I'm too fresh. Cause I'm fresh to death. Cause I'm fresh to...
This incredibly slow and passionate self-love sesh has no place in a track like this. Hearing Soulja Boy pop up immediately takes me out of the song and makes me a little more pissed off. There's no speed, there's no quick wit, only freshness. Soulja comes with 2 cool catchphrases. He's fresh, and he killed the game. For that reason, his 8-line verse feels like it's an hour long because nothing happens. The only line that's accurate is the one where he says he came out of a coffin, because his fucked up putrefied grill is that of a zombie's. Soulja Boy may be the father of internet rap, but saying he killed the game is fucking bold. The only game he killed was a potential sequel to Braid.
And they ain't got no point to the game. You just walk around jumping on shit. It look like that.
They're not seeing the most important thing.
This shit stupid as hell, man.
Chief Keef ain't about this. Chief ain't about that. Shut the fuck up.
The easiest way to scare an old head or music elitist is a mere mention of auto-tune. But Paul McCartney didn't use auto-tune. I imagine Soulja Boy's feature and Chief Keef's Save That Shit is what they hear every time a pop song comes on the radio.
Woke up this morning and my swag on $1 million. Oh my God,
So the problem here is that it sounds like feces. This is the worst auto-tune I've heard in my goddamn life, on account of it being in the wrong key. Oh, someone is getting fired. Any sound engineer worth their salt's not gonna let that slide once, let alone twice. Which is strange considering Save That Shit was later remixed into Foreign Cars and it happened again.
big guns that'll knock 'em down. I gotta sleep next to a chopper now.
This must be an artistic choice on Soulja's part that's too esoteric for us casual listeners to understand. So I'm gonna go ahead and guess he wanted to be the first rapper to sound like a giggle stick.
That's Soulja!
Shit.
That's my bar! He copied my whole fucking flow!
At any moment, that's what I'll do. You fucking bitches!
Truth.
Nuke incoming! Everybody get down! Sir!
trash on juggalos all you want, conformists, but ICP is the last bastion of free will left in this world. Nowhere else are you gonna find a family of sick, twisted freaks who don't care how society views their psychotic lifestyle, nor their extreme lust for fat bitches. The average rapper wouldn't last 10 minutes on Juggalo Island, so if they were to feature anyone outside of their horrorcore bubble, who would feel right? How about the most mentally unstable man in hip-hop? Old Dirty Bastard of Wu-Tang Clan fame is featured on the track Bitches. ICP paid $30,000 for this verse and would receive it only 2 days later. Okay, so he works fast. What exactly is the downfall of this feature? Well, it's a downfall that many musicians share.
Something simple as a crack pipe.
D.R.E.A.M spent all of his check on drugs and recorded a crack-fueled tirade consisting of nothing more than him rambling and screaming about bitches. In Violent J's own words, his shit was so fucking horrible. So desperately trying to make this work, they rewrote the entire song. It wasn't even about bitches. And because D.R.E.A.M didn't even listen to the beat they sent, Jay and Dope spent a whole week chopping his vocals up to fit. You can definitely tell it's a Frankenstein verse. I'm pretty sure they cut one of his lines too late here.
Bitch, I would kill you!
He was probably too coked out to realize it, but he was actually making a fire sample pack. I can't lie, his rants are fucking gold. It gives this song so much more personality. And props to ICP, they got their mileage out of it. The intro and verse are unreasonably catchy.
Don't talk about bitches, I'm fucking dumb. Please no fat bitches, I'm fucking slim.
Somehow this feels natural. He doesn't have to put on a phony maniacal act because he's just that guy. It's his brand. This might be sounding like a good feature, but remember, they built the whole song around this nonsense. God only knows what was on the full tape.
Women are the real dorks. They was running around with ugly ass clothes on, eating grass, eating frogs and shit.
In 1993, Happy Oppenheimer Walters directed the soundtrack for Judgment Night, a movie that's overshadowed by its god-tier soundtrack of collaborations between rap and rock artists. This destroyed musical barriers and opened the door to novel yet bizarre cross-genre experiments which boiled down to taking a rapper and putting them somewhere else.
Hey yo, you crazy for this one, Patrick?
Incorporating rap isn't that simple though, you gotta understand the fundamentals. So when these collabs weren't ending racism, they were making it considerably worse.
It's on fire tonight. We are ready to rock this. Ready to rock this.
Korn and its members being fans of hip-hop naturally led them to having many collabs through their career. One that's surprisingly decent yet I want to mention anyways is Cameltosis, which features Slim Kid Trey from the Far Side. The song opens with some Middle Eastern sitar, but it actually works. The main riff is very smooth with a funky Seinfeld bass line. It fits Trey's voice and the jazz roots of the Far Side perfectly. This is how you do a crossover. Korn were also pretty tight with Ice Cube. They were in his song Fuck Dying. They did a cover of Wicked which featured not Ice Cube but Chino Moreno from Deftones. But Children of the Corn is their big one. You want to see an ancient relic of the 90s? This is it right here. This shit feels prehistoric. It's Korn and Ice Cube's diss on helicopter parents and their call to censor mainstream music, because anything slightly edgy was hell incarnate.
Rebellion sells in rock, and for the hardest types, what can be more rebellious than to revile Christ and blaspheme God?
How do you take a stance against an overblown issue like this? You double down.
Catch me if you can. Fuck the law with my dick in my hand.
This is about as edgy and self-indulgent as it gets. Cube harnessed the pent-up anger of a million teenagers across America and wrote it into a big cartoonish fuck you to those yearning for those good old-fashioned values.
Generation Triple X. We all about the weed smoke and the kinky sex. Nigga, what?
If you look at it objectively, yeah, it's hella cheesy and try-hard. And going from John crying about getting picked on to Cube blowing up the block is a little jarring. But it's still a fun satire. If I get into the mind of someone growing up in this era, it was probably awesome to hear two industry giants get together and make a song like this. I definitely would have thought the Children of the Corn moniker sounded tough as hell. Korn went from a life of luxury to Little Caesars and tap water with one album, Untouchables, bankrupting them. Their follow-up was a very rushed and creatively drained album that had a rather forgotten track, Play Me, that featured Nas. You'd have lost your goddamn mind to think one of the best rappers would be on a list of bad features, but this one is just incredibly sad. Nas wanders aimlessly around a boring chug riff with a flow that goes from kind of working to completely nonsensical. Probably because he's up against the loudest guitar mix imaginable. My main gripe with this one is that it brings nothing to the table and it's just not interesting. Whereas the last two incorporated a hip-hop angle, they didn't even bother here. It just sounds like Nas surgically attached to a leftover riff. The chorus is where shit gets really disjointed, and John moaning like a girl doesn't help.
Everybody, listen to all y'all, 'cause everybody's an enemy.
Play Me was born in Korn's worst period creatively, and it shows. Sorry to the fans of NFL Street. We still have one feature left, and it's one of the most feared MCs of all time. I heard this guy's the greatest white rapper in the game, who even had a feud with Eminem and shit. It's Fred Durst. It's gonna be Fred Durst, isn't it?
You're gonna fucking learn from this time right here.
Activation word.
Durst appears on All in the Family, and this is no ordinary feature either. This is a rap battle. The biggest names in nu metal, West Coast versus Dirty South. We are about to witness history.
And I want you, and I'll suck you, and I'll eat you, and I'll fuck you. What the fuck is this?
Okay, get real for a second. Limp Bizkit rap battle was either going to be tongue-in-cheek or a complete disaster, and somehow it's both. The two throw out lame insults, dated references that were dated when it came out, and plenty of gay jokes. A lot of gay jokes, actually. Alright. Obviously, it's a big joke. They even helped each other write it. But if you can't handle cringe humor, you ain't gonna crack a fucking smirk. The enjoyment one would get comes from hearing two dudes act like kids calling each other queers, and the goofy lines they thought were fire. All in the Family was originally meant for B-Real from Cypress Hill, but his label had foresight and said no. So John and Fred got hammered and made this instead. If you ever needed proof to never create anything drunk, there you go. Put the Rode Pod mics down. No one wants to hear an hour and a half of your friends doing Tony Soprano impressions. John himself has said multiple times it's the worst track they ever did and shouldn't have made the record. How it got released as a lead single is beyond me. But the real question is, who won? I guess Fred had some better lines. Although considering the song gave artistic fans a new muse, I'd say they both lost.
Look at this! Get the out of here! Get the
What is it with pop songs having random rap features that have no reason to be there?
Tell me what's next, alien sex.
But for once, Miley Cyrus's track D.R.E.A.M has a feature that makes sense, that being Wu-Tang Clan member Ghostface Killah. It's an obvious riff on their iconic track Cream, and these two loosely share the theme of drugs. D.R.E.A.M is played out in Miley's Bad Trip, where the apparition of Ghost appears from a crack smoke miasma to wake her up.
You talk too much.
Drugs rule everything around me.
Drugs rule everything around me. You could call me a kid.
That might have been the idea, cause this beat switch is basically smelling salts. Any and all vibes you may have gotten are destroyed by this awkward as fuck transition, and once it's over,
Party all night.
it's over? Yeah, the worst part is that it's thrown into the very last 20 seconds, as to say, if you end it now, no one would know. There's a scarily high chance that this is somebody's first introduction to Wu-Tang Clan, and man, I'm sorry. Cause this is probably one of the lamest verses from Ghost, otherwise, for my money, the best Clan member. For one, it's about 5'9" in length, has none of his wild imagery, and there's none of his storytelling, as the only story you can tell in 20 seconds is the one about the most shameful bag in your career. It's so unnecessary it begs the question, why even bother? And I'm not trying to complain or be greedy over nothing, I'm just confused why they half-assed it. Especially since this is a double feature with Wu-Tang producer RZA co-producing. I can only get background information from this interview, where RZA says he was called in to add flavor.
And so they reached out to me, gave me a chance to add some flavor, you know, add some cool flavor to it.
The interesting part of this, however, is that Ghost was not asked to do a verse. He just heard the beat and thought he needed to get on that.
And Ghostface was with me. And so I was like, yo, Ghost, what's up? You like Miley Cyrus? He's like, I love her.
There was some open and shut drama involving Miley and hip-hop after she said it over-sexualized women. Easy to say she had no case and had to apologize. I've seen theories that this homage was somehow part of the damage control, like that was gonna help. But in reality, Ghost just has a liking for girly pop music, and honestly, who doesn't? D.R.E.A.M could have been more than a lame pop culture reference, but as it stands, it's a collab for no one. Miley fans couldn't be asked to care, and I don't think the bait was strong enough for Wu-Tang fans to want to chow down on this lo-fi, sad Bart Simpson slop.
We give respect to the church. We give respect to the birds. We give respect to the block. Even give it to the cops.
Y'all read this new version of Dante's Inferno? They finally added a 10th circle to balance things out. I always thought some of the punishments were too light, but this new one might be a little too far.
Welcome to hell, motherfucker!
Late rapper DMX appears on their single This Is The Way. Now I'm not going to start ripping into his verse, that's insane. It's a posthumous release, and with those you have to reserve judgment for the ones who handle the material. Five Finger Death Punch took the digging in their ass approach and didn't even bother to make any new music. No joke, this song is a metalcore remix of X's Put 'Em Up from 2010.
Y'all niggas heard it through the grapevine. What's that expect? I'ma take mine.
Oh, but the chorus is new. No, it's taken from their song Judgment Day. The same chorus from the same album with similar riffs.
I'm no angel, I'm no savior, and I've never been the same.
Guys, why don't we buy this song and get this, make it worse. The original verses have been cut in half. Ivan Moody comes in for the chorus, and while the original wasn't anything special, I'm really not trying to hear his meaty ass chords this time. Everything he sings is like a damn Viking hymn, and it just sounds stupid. Their backing track contains a new guitar solo, but this squeaky clean radio rock has no fucking weight to it. They should have at least done something heavier. Early Five Finger Death Punch was basically Diet Pantera. It would have fit X's gruff vocals and his personality way better. Dude's naturally aggressive and raps about some nasty shit sometimes. Safe edgy rock for adult hall monitors doesn't feel like something he'd be on at all. The posthumous music debate hinges on one thing. That any schmuck with $20 can dig up and use musicians' old trash because of the death clause. Finger Force 5 said in interviews that this was a way to pay tribute to DMX, and I believe him. I assume they knew people hate disrespectful cash grabs and wanted to ride the line between remaining authentic and something for their audience. But you know what they say, try to make something for everyone and you end up making something for no one. The half measures taken were unnecessary and the lack of effort is right in your face, resulting in the whole thing feeling like a DMX puppet show. At the very least, they didn't use AI, which cannot be said about his record label.
Can a robot write a symphony? I am a robot. Can a robot turn a canvas into a beautiful masterpiece? Can you?
Who cares what you think? You're not my